What's up, everyone? My name is Ethan. Welcome to Splash City. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Most of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed, and I'd like to try to change that. So if you have been around the channel for a while, you like the type of content that I produce, please consider hitting that button down below. It would really mean a lot to me. With that out of the way, let's get into today's video, and that is day 3 of Summer League. Continuing along with recaps, daily recaps of what's gone on in the Summer League. Today there were not as many games, only 6 games today. Looks like, yes, 6 games today. And it was a little bit of a later start, so nothing nothing too crazy happened. There was a buzzer-beating game winner, which we'll talk about. A couple of blowouts, which was unfortunate. Actually, most of these games are blowouts. There were really only 2 close games today, and the rest of them were not very close. So, in terms of exciting, this was probably the least exciting Summer League day so far, but I'm still going to talk about it. Some of the players that I liked from today, and my takeaways. So starting us off, we have the Atlanta Hawks and the Indiana Pacers. This was, I think, by far the most exciting game that we had today. It was pretty back and forth through the entire time, and the Hawks end up winning on a game-winning 3-point shot from Sharife Cooper to take the game. I actually got a pretty good video of it. I was sitting in the stands. I saw this one happen live. And I was, a couple rows up, not the best seats, and I was kind of on the other side of the floor from where all this was happening. I wish I had moved because I figured that there would be some excitement at the very end, and I really did think about moving down to the other side of the court so I could get a better view, but I decided to just stay where I was. And turns out I should have definitely moved angles because I could have gotten a really nice video of the game winner from Sharife Cooper, but. Alas, what I will have to do, and that is up on Twitter if you want to go see my angle of Sharife Cooper's game winner. So, it was kind of a broken play too. It was a missed shot by the Hawks, and then an offensive rebound with just a couple of seconds to go, kick out to the corner to Sharife Cooper for the win, and they were down 2, so they needed the 3, and he just drilled it and gave the Hawks the victory there. And they took a second to review, kind of had to look at it and make sure he got it off in time, but on the first replay, everybody could tell it was pretty clearly away. He got that out of his hands with a second and a half-ish to spare. So really nice shot by him. He had a really good game too. 21 points, 9 assists on 8 for 14 shooting. So just some great stuff from Sharife Cooper. People were surprised when he fell into the second round, to pick number 48 on draft night, I believe is what it was. And he's making that look silly right now because he's had a great summer league so far. So Sharife Cooper's been really good. Jalen Johnson, also a guy that I was not super high on in the draft, but he's impressed me so far here at summer league, especially today. He had some pretty nasty dunks, 2 or 3 really, really crazy dunks. One of them was off of a feed from, of course, Sharife Cooper. And there was a couple of other ones where he just got breakaways, and he's just really athletic. He can get up and just dunked on a couple of people. So Jalen Johnson was really good today. Had 18 and 10. I think he had 20 and 10 the other day. So double machine so far, and he's been really good. So a guy that I didn't like a ton in the draft, but he's impressed me so far. On the Pacers side of things, Chris Duarte looks super comfortable. He had 21 points, 7 rebounds, 5 for 10 from 3. He just looks like he knows what to do. He looks like he belongs on the NBA floor. Makes sense that he was the oldest rookie in this year's class, and makes sense that he's going to be comfortable right away. So I think the Pacers are going to have a guy that can contribute in his rookie season, and I would expect him to be good throughout that duration of the rookie contract. Yes, I know he's a little bit older for a rookie, but he's already really good, and I think the Pacers have got a good one there with Chris Duarte. So I like him a lot. Other than him for the Pacers, Isaiah Jackson got some minutes. He didn't play much in their first game, but today he scored 13 and 12 rebounds there. So Isaiah Jackson, pretty good game from him. Other than him, Cassius Stanley had 14. O'Shea Brissett had 13. My guy Jordan Bone didn't have a super great game. I was hoping he would play well because I kind of like Jordan Bone, but only 4 points. And then Dwayne Washington Jr., who had a really nice game in the first Summer League game for the Pacers, only shot 1 for 6 today for 4 points. So a little bit of a disappointment from him, but that's all right. Pacers drop to 0-2. They lose this game by 1. But really great performance from Sharife Cooper and Jalen Johnson from the Hawks. And that was a really fun game. Definitely the best one today. Moving along to the second game of the day, Celtics and Nuggets. This one was a blowout. It was over pretty early. Boston, kind of ran him out of the gym. This is twice in 2 games now that the Nuggets have been blown out. They lost by 20 to the Heat in their first game. So, not been super impressed with Denver so far. They have not played super well. Obviously 2 blowouts. But let's start with Boston. Carson Edwards, 14 points. Peyton Pritchard, almost a triple-double for Peyton Pritchard. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists on 6 for 10 shooting, 4 for 5 from 3. Said this the other day, Peyton Pritchard does not belong in Summer League. He's too good already, entering his second season, and he was an older rookie anyway. Peyton Pritchard is just making all these other kids look silly. He's been clearly one of the best players on the court. Also, Aaron Nesmith, 33 points and 7 rebounds for him, 13 for 18 from the floor, 7 for 9 from 3. So Nesmith had a really nice game, also getting himself over 30. Him and Peyton Pritchard have just been dominant. Both Celtics first-round picks from last year have just been absolutely insane. And that's the big reason that Boston is 2-0 right now, because those two have absolutely been stellar. Other than them, Yam Madar, he played pretty well in the first game for Boston, didn't score tonight, only took 3 shots and didn't score, and then just 1 assist for him. So an underwhelming game for Yam Madar, but that's not super crazy. Romeo Langford only had 8 points, but he only took 4 shots, so interesting there. And then Bruno Fernando, who was just barely traded to Boston. He did not play in their first game, but he scored 9 on 4 for 5 from the field today. So nice game for Bruno Fernando as well. On the Nugget side of things, Bol was the guy for them, 26 and 9 on 8 for 12 shooting. He was, what you would expect. He's entering his 3rd season in the NBA, so he should probably be better than a lot of the guys who are here. And he was, he was the leading scorer for Denver. And things were pretty easy for him. Only 24 minutes also, and got up to 26 points. So, nice night for Bol. Can't really say the same for really anybody else on the Nuggets except for maybe Bones Hyland. This was the debut for Bones Hyland. He did not play in the Nuggets' first Summer League game. He did show up here tonight. 16 points, 7 assists on 5 for 11 from the floor. So, pretty solid showing from Bones Hyland. And other than him, nobody else really did anything on Denver's side. That's why they lost by 20. Moving along to the Bulls and the Spurs, big comeback victory from Chicago. They win by 3 points after being down, 20 or more at points throughout the first half. And at halftime, it was not a very close game. So I actually didn't catch the second half of this one. I went across the hall to watch Pistons and Rockets because it was a blowout and the Bulls were getting destroyed. So I kind of was like, oh well, I don't need to watch the second half of this. And I went over and watched the first little bit of Pistons and Rockets, but turns out I should have gone back to see the Bulls because they made this big comeback, and it was mostly thanks to Patrick Williams, who ended up with 30 points and 7 rebounds. He should theoretically be, if not the best, one of the best players in this summer league, and he was, he proved that tonight, of course, because he was the 4th overall pick last year, and so he has the most NBA experience out of really, a lot of the players that are here. And he was drafted so highly, and none of the guys that were drafted ahead of him in his class are here at this summer league. So he should be, probably one of the best players around, and he definitely was today. 30 points and 7 rebounds for Patrick Williams, leading the big comeback. Other than him, Simonovic on the Bulls, 13 points and 5 rebounds. Ayo Dosunmu had 10 points on 4 for 9 shooting to go along with 4 rebounds and 2 assists, so pretty solid game from Dosunmu. Other than that, Ethan Thompson off the bench had 9, and that's pretty much it for Chicago. On the Spurs side of things, in the first half, they were kind of clicking on all cylinders. We had a bunch of guys hitting threes. Joe Wieskamp, Tyus Jones was hitting threes. Malik Newman had himself a nice game. He had 19 points. And Morris also had 20. Jay Morris, I don't know his first name actually. So he had 20 and 5. Malik Newman, I was actually really impressed by him in the first half. He finished with 19, 6 and 4. Trey Jones, one of my favorites, 23, 4 and 3. And Nate Renfro had 8 rebounds. And I mentioned Joe Wieskamp. He hit a couple of threes near the end of the first half to finish with 11, 5, and 2. So Spurs, I think, overall was a pretty solid showing. Sucks that they gave it away, and it sucks that Josh Primo didn't play because I didn't catch the Spurs game the other day, so I didn't see Primo play, and I was hoping I would get to see him play in this one, but for whatever reason he sat. I don't think it was an injury. I think they're just kind of managing his minutes. I don't know exactly what they're doing with Josh Primo, but he didn't play today, so hopefully I can catch him later this week. But yeah, big comeback victory for the Bulls in this one. Moving along to Pistons and Rockets. This one was a blowout, unfortunately. Rockets win by 20. I wasn't quite as locked into this game as maybe I should have been, given that it's, number 1 overall pick versus number 2 overall pick. Of course, Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green going at it. I was kind of checked out of this one a little bit. It wasn't really close for most of it. The first half was relatively even. Second half, the Rockets kind of pulled away, and I did go across the hall to watch Kings and Wizards. So I wasn't really super locked into this game. But Cade Cunningham, had some nice moments in the first half. I thought he was better tonight than he was in his first game. He had 20 points and to go along with 4 rebounds and 2 assists. So solid showing from Cade Cunningham. He's the first overall pick, of course. Saddiq Bey is better than everybody here. Him and Patrick Williams have been, pretty dominant, both of them, in their own way. And Saddiq Bey, he's just got more experience. He was all-rookie first team last season, I think, or maybe he was second team. But either way, he had a really strong rookie year, and he probably shouldn't even be playing. So 12 points for him to go along with 7 rebounds. Tyler Cook, I really liked, actually. Tyler Cook, I thought, has played 2 really good games so far. He had 10 and 6 for the Pistons. Luka Garza, 15 off the bench on 5 for 6 shooting. He had some nice moments offensively. Of course, we know he's not great on defense. And Saban Lee had 13 points as well. So I thought, the Pistons role players, I thought did a pretty good job. But ultimately, the Rockets, their entire starting 5 was in double digits. You had Alperen Şengün, who was electric tonight. 21 points, 8 rebounds. He hit a three-pointer from the logo at one point, and he was just, pretty great on defense as well. Şengün was showing why he was a mid-first round pick there. Kenyon Martin Jr. with 16 points. Jalen Green ended up with 25. He hit 3 for 5 on 3 to go along with 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Josh Christopher had 15 points and 7 assists. Really nice game from him. Kyrie Thomas finished with 10. So their entire starting 5 in double digits. Off the bench, Anthony Lamb had 9 and 8. So just an overall really solid showing from the Rockets roster. They're 2-0. They're definitely one of the better teams at this summer league. They just have a lot of talent. And side note, but it's kind of been a really solid rebuilding job done by Houston to find this much young talent so quickly after the whole James Harden thing went down and he left. But the Rockets have quite a bit to work with. So pretty good showing from their young guys, and they've got a bright future. Kings and Wizards. This game was actually pretty fun. Kings ended up winning this one by a pretty significant margin. They win by 14. But I thought it was a good showing from both teams here. The Kings have Louis King, aptly named, of course, King on the Kings. Had a great night tonight. 16 points on 4 for 6 from 3. Really, really nice game from him. I was really impressed, and I think he's done enough through 2 games. If he continues to play this well, he might find himself with an NBA contract for next season, because he's been, I think, one of the better players in the summer league so far. Davion Mitchell with 12 points. He shot 5 for 8 from the field. Similar to the other day, he wasn't looking to score too much, but I thought he played great defense, and he got the 4 assists tonight. He was setting his teammates up. Metu, Chimezie Metu with 10 points and 7 rebounds. Off the bench, Emmanuel Terry did not score, but had 10 rebounds, so got to double digits there. Matt Coleman had some pretty horrific moments in their first game yesterday against the Hornets, or maybe that was 2 days ago, I don't remember. But Matt Coleman, I remember, had a stretch in Kings versus Hornets where he just looked horrible for a couple of plays in a row, looked completely lost. But tonight he had quite the opposite, where for 2 or 3 plays in a row, he was super locked in, hit a 3, hit a layup, and had a steal on defense, something like that, all back to back to back. So Matt Coleman had some really nice plays here. And Murky ended up with 13 points as well. So good depth showing from the Kings. And Alex Antetokounmpo got into a game. The youngest Antetokounmpo brother was there, and all of his brothers were there to support. Of course, Thanasis, Giannis, and Kostas were all there in the stands. I saw them all in person, which was kind of cool, supporting Alex, and he got in, only played 4 minutes at the very end there after the blowout had kind of been decided. Didn't score, took a couple of shots, missed them both, but it was good to see him out there and having all of the Antetokounmpo brothers making their way into the NBA circle. Even if he won't get an actual NBA contract, it was just kind of fun to see him in Summer League, and hey, maybe he'll impress later this week. I'd like to see him play again. On the Wizards side of things, Caleb Holmesley had a nice showing, 17 points, 6 for 8 from the field. Other than him, Mason Jones, I think is his first name, M. Jones, I think it's Mason, 14 points, 4 assists for him off the bench. Corey Kispert, I thought made some pretty nice plays. He scored 8, hit a couple of threes as well. And Jay Huff is a name that I had not been familiar with, but he was out of, I think, Virginia. I looked him up. He was undrafted this year. Really tall, big center, like 7'1", I think he's listed at. He ended up with 8 points and 7 rebounds. I thought he had some really nice moments. So Jay Huff may be a name to watch out for. Other than that, nothing crazy on the Wizards side. Moving along to Clippers and Blazers, final game of the night. This was a blowout. Portland wins by 20. It was kind of close, through the first half and for some of the third quarter, but Portland started to pull away near the end, and I left I didn't watch the fourth quarter. I went back to my room to start working on this video. So did not watch the fourth quarter of this game, but in the third, it was just Portland hitting a lot of threes, getting consistent stops on defense, and the Clippers were not really able to keep up with that. So on the Clippers side of things, Daniel Oturu had a double-double, 11 and 13. Jay Scrubb, 15 and 10, also a double-double for him. Keon Johnson had a nice, stat sheet game, 8, 7, and 6 to go along with 5 fouls and only 3 for 14 from the floor. So decent stats for Keon Johnson, but pretty poor efficiency-wise. Jason Preston, who I love, only took 2 shots, didn't make any, but did have the 2 assists. So I guess decent game for Jason Preston. Brendan Boston with 8 points off the bench on only 3 for 13 shooting. For Portland, Emmanuel Mudiay, George King, both in double digits. George King didn't shoot as well tonight, but I still liked his activity. Kobe Simmons with 15 off the bench. Antonio Blakeney had 12. Greg Brown hit a couple of shots to get himself to 9 points. Side note, Greg Brown looks way different than I thought he was going to. In college, for some reason, I had the impression of Greg Brown as like a really bouncy power forward, but he looks way more like a wing in this setting. I don't know why, but he doesn't look as big in person, maybe, is what it is. And he's playing a little bit more like a wing than I was used to him doing at Texas. He was kind of taking a couple more threes and playing, having the ball in his hands a little bit more. It was kind of interesting to watch Greg Brown in this setting, but I was actually pretty impressed by him in this game. So Blazers blow out the Clippers. Wasn't a super exciting one, but still some stuff to look for. But yeah, that's all I have on day 3 of Summer League. So that's all the games, that's all the recaps that I have. And I will be back probably tomorrow with a recap of day 4. So look out for that one. And like I said at the top of the video, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, ring the bell if you want to. Leave a comment letting me know what you guys thought about day 3 of Summer League. Who do you think was the best player from today? What was your favorite moment? It was, for a lot of you, I'm assuming it's going to be the Sharife Cooper game-winning shot, because that was definitely the best moment of the day for me. So, with all that said, I will see you guys in the next one.